जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयो श्रुत्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Good evening after Durga Puja holidays. We are meeting. I hope you all had good Durga Puja holidays. And as is our habit, we always forget what we have learned. But I neither have the time nor the ability to go through a revision of what we have studied till now, or rather what we have tried to study till now. But I just want to remind you of certain points which I have been repeating here. First is that these scriptures are manuals of life, and probably I have told it n number of times, still I repeat it, as we need a manual when we are in the middle of a job, let it be a computer or driving or using a refrigerator. We need these manuals of life when we are facing the problems of life. That is why we are studying these scriptures, not to become philosophers. Of course, I have nothing against any of you becoming philosophers, but since generally philosophers tend to confuse people, so this is not for becoming philosophers or to have the satisfaction that we have studied the scriptures, but for implementing these ideas in our life, and that should be our goal. The second thing is, religion is realization, is what Swami Vivekananda says. I was delivering a lecture, or rather I was taking a class on sociology of religion in the Institute of Culture last month, and when I came out of the lecture, Ramakrishna Mission devotee, a lady who attended the lecture, asked me with all enthusiasm that, Swamiji, I am studying Savitri of Aurobindo. And somehow I could understand, it is pure psychology, I could understand that this person wants a certificate of authorization. So most often when we know that we are doing something wrong, or we are not able to do something which should be done, we try to get a ratification by people. So if that Maharaj says that it is okay, then I can say that such and such Maharaj said that it is okay. She said that I don't like japa. And no, the first question I asked her, are you initiated into spiritual life? She said, yes, not from Ramakrishna Mission, but from outside. Then I said, then do you do japa? Somehow I felt that I should ask, and partly intuition, partly psychology. And then she said, no. Then I said, please don't study Savitri, it's a waste of time. What I said was purely a personal thing to her. I said, waste of time, you do this japa. So then she kept quiet. About 3 days later, I get a call from another devotee whom I knew or know, and she says that you have hurt a person. What has happened? No, you have told such and such person that it is a waste of time to read Savitri, and since childhood she is reading Savitri. Then I told, see, this was the idea. And then the lady was there and she started what you call a hysterics, theatrics and hysterics combined. Over the phone she started wailing and started shouting and all that. She said, how can you say you don't know me, you don't know anything about me, just you have met me in the class, how can you say that this is a waste of time? Then again that other lady intervened. She was like kind of acting in between. So please see, you may all think that we are all having food at the proper time, and no, we have also our own occupational hazards. So this woman was acting as the mediator, and I told him, please ask your friend that she may not agree with anything, but is it not right that she is not able to do japa? Is it not right that she is not able to do spiritual practices? And if she is so conversant with Savitri, I challenge her to come on a debate on Savitri. I just wanted to tell that it is not that I am ignorant of Savitri, it is not that I don't know Aurobindo, but in that case, for her, Aurobindo, and I also quoted from Patanjali Yoga Sutra where it says, Laya, there is a concept called Laya, where you attain some kind of stage and you feel that is the ultimate stage, and that is an obstacle for spiritual life. Some people, it's a common thing. We generally make big hue and cry out of common thing. For example, if you are a good cook, you cook, everybody will like and eat. What is there big deal about that? All our mothers do that. At that time we don't make any fuss. But if you go to a 5-star restaurant, you make so much fuss of a chef. In a very recent film, a heroine says that if I cook, if a woman cooks, it is duty. And if a man cooks, it is talent. How many of you have seen this film? No. Okay. So I didn't risk the telling the name of the film. Otherwise you say this man has no other work than seeing films. Okay, that's one of the works. So, so it's true. When our mother cooks and tells, one mother is very happy, all smile. She cooks and gives us, we don't even want to eat. But the same thing, or maybe even a worse thing, when we go to a 5-star hotel and order and eat, it seems like the ultimate delicacy in the world. So similarly, if you speak truth for a considerable amount of time, it so happens, it's just a consequence that whatever you speak comes true. There's no big deal about that. Don't make such a big fuss of that. But some people, having attained this, they think that yes, I have become a big Siddha Purusha. That is not attaining God or attaining Brahman. So they think that I have arrived. Even this, many people cannot arrive. That's a different story, because how many of you actually speak truth even one day together, totally? One day, how many of you 24 hours can speak truth? I don't know. Maybe it's like many people are very truthful, I know, just next to Harishchandra, but many people are not. So now these things are what count, are the matters which count. So I told her that look, this is what happens. She is reading Savitri and fooling herself that she has become great spiritual person because she can understand something which nobody can understand. Actually, she also does not understand, but she thinks. Just a moment. It the way hard disk off nahi to? Oh, that automatic. Okay. Now, this is what happened. And then that lady went on wailing and all that. But I said that you may wail, you may do whatever you want, but if what I am telling is not mine, statement. It is what I have heard from, I have read. All the Shastras say that, Sri Ramakrishna says, Swami Vivekananda says. And if you follow this and you have some serious problem, you can come to me and beat me. And if you get something, you can also come and tell me that. So it so happened that she could not accept that, but that is what is true religion all about. Religion is realization, not study. Naisha tarkena matirapaneya. You cannot attain self-realization or the truth by argumentation or by debating. Tyage neke. These are two different quotes. I am just posing them. Tyage neke amritatvam anashuhu. Na prajaya dhanena. So it's not by progeny, not by knowledge, not by wealth. You attain self-realization only by renunciation and also by practice. 1 ounce of practice is better than 20,000 tons of talk. Swami Vivekananda. That is why the famous quotation of Swami Vivekananda, each soul is potentially divine. The goal is to manifest this divinity within by controlling nature, external and internal. Do this by work or worship or psychic control or philosophy, by one or more or all of these, and be free. This is the whole of religion. Dogmas, doctrines, temples, books, rituals and forms are but secondary details. This is the whole quotation of Swami Vivekananda, and that is to me at least, is the guiding force of religion. These are but secondary details. In another place, Swami Vivekananda says in a letter that we have produced, I am paraphrasing him, now I am not exactly quoting him, paraphrasing him. We have produced excellent theories on whether we have to hold a glass of water by the left hand or the right hand. And even today, immediately you see a person supposedly religious, you think what the person will eat, not how the person will behave. What did Arjuna ask Sri Krishna in Gita? Did he ask, what does a Brahmagyani eat? Did he ask that question? Sita pragyasya ka bhasha. So people who do not know Sanskrit properly, they will say he asked what is the language of a Sita pragya. If it is a Swami Vivekananda, Bengali bhasha. Simple. No, he asked Sita pragyasya ka bhasha. What is the paribhasha? What is the definition of Sita pragya? Who is a Sita pragya? One who is established in Brahman. Sita pragyasya ka bhashas. Then he asked, Kimasita kim vrajeta kim? How does he stay? How does he live? What does he do? So this is what he was more interested in. And that is what is told. Even Sri Krishna in his reply does not say that he takes or does not take chicken. The big question now. He did not say that. He said, what did he say? Dukkheshu anudvigna mana, sukheshu vigataspra, etc., etc. You know, the last portion of the 2nd chapter. Sita pragyasya ka bhasha, samadhistasya keshava, sitadi kim prabhasheta, kimasita vrajeta kim. Who is called Sitadi? One who is established in Brahman, whose intellect is established in consciousness. So that is the question. Now these are the two things I want to remind you, that Swami Vivekananda or a scripture or any other tradition is useful to me only as far as it deals with my present problem, my existential problem. I am not bothered about what Swami Vivekananda said, or I am not bothered about whether it is Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta, etc. I am bothered about the practical application. Now we were discussing Katha Upanishad, death with a difference. Now here we were discussing the mantras of the first chapter, the first Valli or the canto of the first chapter. We had covered 5 mantras, and the last mantra we were seeing was Bahunam emi prathamo, Bahunam emi madhyama, Kim svidyamasya kartavyam, Yanmaya adya karishyati. So this Nachiketa, having seen his father giving away totally worthless things as gift in the sacrifice called Vishwajit, which is supposed to be conducted by a person who has conquered the whole world, or if a person conducts this sacrifice will attain the status of having conquered the whole world. Having seen that his father is not properly performing that sacrifice, not giving proper gifts, what did he do? He did not scold his father, but he Shraddha Vivesha. Shraddha entered into him. So the scripture shows us as though Shraddha was a person or a ghost entered into this person, and the person immediately is transformed. Instead of scolding the father as most of us would do, he says that whom are you going to give me to? Because I am your best possession, wealth, son. Because in this sacrifice all best things should be given, whom are you going to give me to? And then he went on pestering, asked once, twice and third time, and his father, as any patient man, got disturbed and said, I give you to death. Like mothers sometimes they say, or some people will say, go to hell. So I give you to death. As soon as he said that, Nachiketa also was not a fool. Nachiketa immediately thought that why does my father say that I will give you to death? He had a wonderful self-esteem, which again most of us lack. So he said, now suppose somebody tells that, say one father tells to his son, I give you to death. Immediately the son will go into a bout of depression, will not take food, will not talk with anybody. Mobile phone they will switch off. First sign of depression is switching off the mobile phone. They will switch off, not take anything. Then you will have to go to a shrink, and all these things will happen, and if nothing happens, suicide. Very simple. And if nothing works, you can go to high-rise buildings in Calcutta, they have many, and you can jump from there and occupy headlines of the next 3 days, or you can go and jump in front of metro. See, so many avenues for suicide. So this is what people do. But Nachiketa, he thought, I am best in many cases. Bahunam emi, among many I am the first. Bahunam emi madhyama, among the many I am the middle, but I am never, that is not given in the mantra, but I am never the last. There we discussed about 3 kinds of disciples. One is the best disciple, the disciple who does a thing without being asked to. Very rare to find these days. Second one is a disciple who does whatever is asked of the disciple. And third one is even if you tell, that fellow will not do. This is the third one. Best. So now government employee can be classified in 3. Government employee, first very proactive, sees that there is no tube well in a village, goes to the office and passes a sanction that tube well, that is unheard of, unimagined of. And the other government officer, or rather I will put it in a different way, government of employee 1 to whom somebody goes and applies and immediately the work is done. Second government, that is the Uttama government officer in today's world. And second government officer is you go apply and give something also. No. One Swami, he was in, one of our Swami, he was in, what is that place? Ranchi. Ranchi, and he went to those days Ranchi was part of Bihar. So he went to a government office and he said that this we want. So the officials, कैसे होगा स्वामी जी, फाइल उड़ के थोड़ी जाएगा. उसमें पंखा थोड़ी लगा हुआ है, कुछ लगा ही है पंखा, तो पंखा लगा, so you some propelling force you have to give, some cryogenic fuel you have to add, then this rocket will be launched. So that is the second kind. And third one is, this is most beautiful fellow. This fellow will take the goose also and do nothing. Apply, no reply. So that is the most, so honesty definition, I think I have told you. An employee of HAL last year in Vigilance Week, he said, an honest employee is one who takes bribe and does the work. A dishonest employee is one who takes the bribe and does not do the work. So Bahuna Memi Prathama. So Nachiketa thought, oh, I am the best among many. I am the middle among many, but I am never the last. And why is kims with yamasya kartavyam yanmaya adya karishyati? And why is my father sending me to Yama? After all, he is not very cherished God. See, the most cherished Lord is Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Then you have Vishnu, this Ranganatha. Though Vishnu is Vishnu's incarnation is Krishna, but everybody will like Krishna because you see there is some rasa there, na? Butter and all that other things, extracurricular activities. So we like this. And then Vishnu. Then if not Vishnu, at least Shiva and Lakshmi, Saraswati, so many people, and you have left everybody. At least that Muruga is there, not Murga in Hindi, that is chicken, no, cock, so rooster, not that, but Kartikeya. At least you could have given to that fellow, you have given me to Yama. So it's kims with Yamasya Kartavyam. What could have been the purpose of Yama that my father is giving to Yama? This is what is given in the mantra. But our great commentators, Acharyas, they also further interpret that he thought that, oh, my father was annoyed with me, that I was pestering him and I was bringing to his notice his fault. So people generally do not like being told their faults. So this is his way of showing his annoyance. Nachiketa was not a fool, he was very intelligent, at least more intelligent than all of us. So he knew that. He said, oh, that is why my father is sending me to Yama. But because my father has told this, he will have to stand by his statement. Because he should be truthful. Otherwise, Jagdatrana Dugdad Doha Nirindriya, all useless cows he is giving. Already he has committed an error. If he is not being truthful, he will be committing further error. So he should be truthful. So my father, though he has told this in annoyance, in anger, he has to abide by this. So it seems Nachiketa, that is what the commentators say, Nachiketa is telling his father that, see, father, okay, you got annoyed and you told, but now you will have to follow this. You will have to follow this because you have told. And that is why in the next mantra, we find Anupashya yatha purve pratipashya tatha pare sasyam iva martya pachyate sasyam iva ajayate punah. Very simple Sanskrit, all of you have understood, is it not? How many of you have understood? Not you. Only half. Which one is the better, we don't know still. So, who else has understood? Okay. Makes my job all the more simpler. Purve. Anupashya yatha purve. Purve. Before, prior to you. Yatha, how. Vrittaha, or behaved. Anupashya. Remember. Anupashya. Anu is used to in the sense of following or junior. Anuja means what? Small. A small brother, usually used in the sense of Anuja is small sister, Anuja is small brother. Agraja means the first elder brother. Agraja. So Anuja. So Anu is always Anukarana, Anuvritti, etc. Anu means always in the sense of following, subsidiary or subservient. So anupashya, remember. What you should remember? The behavior of those people who were ahead of you, who were earlier to you. That means your ancestors. Remember the behavior of your ancestors. So this also means that your ancestors should behave in a way that you should be able to remember. See, this is the other side of the coin. Your ancestors, why I am telling you this, you are also going to be the ancestors of some people. So please behave in such a fashion that they can remember. Don't behave in a fashion that they would like to forget. Just think of what will happen to the people who call Hitler as their ancestor. I don't know. At least how other people will look upon them. Or somebody like that. So remember what your ancestors did. So that means they did some good thing. That is why he is telling, remember. In the case of Vajasravasa, we know that his father was famous, became famous by donating, giving away in charity Vaja, that is food grains. So he said, at least remember what my grandfather did. Don't do all these things. Anupashya yatha purve, pratipashya tatha apare. Not only that, also remember apara. In this age also there are good people like me. No, this me is me, not Nachiketa. At least you are not telling, I can tell. Good people like me, sages. So remember them. Pratipashya means observe. Observe them. Carefully study. Yadyad acharati shreshtaha. Gita, how many of you know? Afterwards what? Yadyad acharati shreshtaha? Okay. I don't mind the crowd dwindling, but I will ask questions like this. Yadyad acharati shreshtaha tattad deva itaro janaha. Means people follow, other people follow the behavior of shreshtaha. Great people or the best people, best of men. Now, whom you will consider as Shrestha is a different thing. Some people will consider SRK as Shrestha. That's a different matter altogether. But whomsoever you are considering as Shrestha, SRK means not Sri Ram Krishna, Shah Rukh Khan. So, whomsoever you are considering as Shrestha, that people will follow. You will follow. So, similarly, Anupashya yatha purve. Just remember, remind yourself of the great behavior of your ancestors. And pratipashya tatha apare, and also observe of the people, the behavior of the people who are still living with you in the society. Martya sasyam iva pachyate, puna sasyam iva ajayate. Sasyam means corn, bhutta, popcorn. So corn is used very much in a lot of cooking, you see. Corn came from America. Who said so?
That's to my knowledge.
Achha. No, I don't think corn.
It's another grain like corn, but not exactly what we call corn now. Popcorn, we might be meaning.
No, popcorn came from America, but
corn grain was developed by Red Indians.
Achha, but it was not there earlier.
I don't think so. Not in these places. It is the traditional diet of the Red Indians, not of American Indians.
Okay, we will do some research on that. No, because Indian corn. No, we will do the research. I am interested. But Indian corn, it is so old, no?
I may be wrong.
Okay, but sasya is a generic term. I will give you that because in Sanskrit, sasya is a generic term which can be used for any crop. So. Where? In Sanskrit? Bengali, but in Sanskrit Sasya means Sasya only. It is not signed with, not that Shankara Dantasa only. Sasya. Bengali it is like that, but not in Sanskrit. Sasya means any crop. It can be any grain. So wheat also can be called sasya. But corn has been said to be corn. So I will check that whether corn was really there or we will find out some references.
Had Nachiketa's father donated him to God, he would try to get God and get moksha.
Huh?
Instead of going to jump.
No, obviously he is not donated. We said that he, out of annoyance or anger, he said that.
Okay, then he would try to find God and get moksha.
No. Who will try to find God?
Nachiketa.
Why?
To fulfill his father's wish.
That's what he is going to do.
No, he donated to Yama, not God.
God is one of the god. Yama is one of the god, is the god of death. See, that is what Hinduism is so wonderful. We have got so many gods. They did not know, otherwise you will have god of laptop, god of MP3 player. Later on it will come.
Yama is not only god of death, god of karma.
Also.
And in this context, I expect that instead of property, his father expected him to be a good dharmist.
No, you have been mistaken. No, you have, please listen to me. His father never gave him to god of death.
Yes.
He did not give. It was just a exclamation because of anger or annoyance. So why he gave to death, that question does not arise at all, because he did not give.
That utterance has created
This problem in Nachiketa because he wants to be truthful and he also wants his father to be truthful. You see, nowadays,
his father's utterance, whether through annoyance or through softness, has created this particular Kathopanishad,
yes.
which is a great epic of others.
Oh, so you mean,
That's why his father might not have been with a different opinion.
this is one interpretation, but because Shankaracharya and even other many acharyas, they don't say that his father had a good intention. In fact, they portray him to be a very bad person and an ignorant person. That is what even Dugdha Doha Nirindriya, a person who can give, is a hypocrite basically. Who is
Subsequently, Nachiketa has asked for food only.
Nachiketa has asked, not his father.
Definitely, why he asked for? Because son is the subsequent of a father.
I did not get you there.
The best, most interesting thing for any person is his life and next his son's life.
Yes.
Rather, in some places, son's life is much more than his one.
Yes.
When we wanted to donate something,
Huh.
any object I can give, but not my son.
Yes.
So, such a best thing,
Huh.
whom you wanted to give, he asked for.
Yes.
Find out his extreme interest,
Now, who asked this?
the Nachiketa.
Nachiketa asked, but you are trying to make his father a hero. That's what I am telling. Nowhere it is told that his father was a good person.
But not necessary to be taken as a wrong person.
No, but that is what exactly the scripture and also other acharyas are telling. This is one interpretation, but need not be the correct. Otherwise, why the scripture will say that he was giving wrong gifts?
It has given a best thing after that.
He did not give. See, he did not. It is like when in houses, it is very common, is it not? When somebody is pestering.
It is called as something like this. At times, after, because of annoyance, we utter this phrase, go to hell.
That's what.
Really, when I do that, forget it, go to hell. Do you really mean that he goes to hell? No. I think similar such things.
Similar.
This you can deliver it later.
But that, again, that's what, here again, that's what I am coming to, or what Shankaracharya is coming to, even Anandagiri and other acharyas. Because this interpretation neither Ramanuja, Madhvacharya, nobody has given. So, this is an interpretation, but let us not give so much credit to this Vajashravasa.
If I am happy with my son, do I ever donate him to Yama? Nobody.
He has not donated, brother. Please, don't insult your intelligence.
If he was happy instead of annoyed,
No, he did not donate. I am telling, please don't insult your own intelligence, please. Please think.
he said he was annoyed, so he uttered the name of Yama. But if he was happy,
He would not have uttered the name of Hema. Yes, that's what you want to tell.
if he was happy, could he say that I am donating to Yama?
If he was happy, he would not have donated to anybody. That's what he was doing. He was not donating any good thing. He was donating only useless things. So he would not have donated his son. Correct. The point is correct. So now Bahuna. So anyway, he says now this Nachiketa is telling, or that whatever you have told out of anger, this, however, should not become false. Why? Why does Nachiketa say this? Because father also, after having told this, that I give you to Emma, he became remorseful. Because then he understood that my son is not like me. He will not say chalta hai. He will immediately go to Yama. So he is a good son, somehow unfortunately he has been born to me. We see this. One very bad father having a very good son, very good father having a very bad son. All these things. A sage father getting a rogue son. These are very common things we see. So similarly here, he knew. Immediately he became remorseful. He repented his utterance. So then Nachiketa is telling him, Anupashya yatha purve. So sasyamiva. Because of the correction, let it be a crop. So why you should follow what your ancestors have done, and why you should observe what good people, other people, Sat Jana, why you should follow what other people are doing in the society. Now you may not get sages, or sometimes if you want to search sages, you will have to go to Asta channel and Sadhana channel, and for all you know, they are not sages, they are all having different garb, because suddenly someone will come in salwar kameez. You don't know. So that is why Satjana, let us not complicate things, Satjana means people who are good people, who observe them. They are there in the society, observe them and base your actions upon this observance and also observation, and also people who were your ancestors. Why? Because there is no use in telling lies. Why? Anyway, you are going to die. If you tell lies, will you not die? You will die. If you tell the truth, will you not die? You will die. So why don't you die? Why don't you die telling the truth? But this is a two-edged sword. This can happen the other way also. You will immediately ask, why don't I die telling lies? At least I will have a comfortable life. So we will come, the whole Upanishad is probably about that. We will come to that later. But what he is telling is, death is something constant. That is why he is giving the example of the crop or the corn or food grain, whatever. That sasya miva martyah pachyate. Like a food grain, you destroy, you rot. Pachyate means to rot. And also decay. And also ajayate punah. Can anyone give me an example from the Gita, a parallel from the Gita? Second chapter again. Gatasun agatansuncha nan anushochanti panditaha. So Arjuna is standing in the battlefield. What will happen? Actually, this fellow got afraid. He was the fellow who was telling that I will kill Karna, I will show him one thing, that thing. And he made so many calls of fight, and now seeing all this army, he got afraid. What is that? Performance pressure. So he got afraid. And then he says that why will I kill? And wonderful logic that this all people will go to Naraka. What will happen if everybody die? Who will enjoy this kingdom? There will be nobody to enjoy the kingdom. So, like that he is creating wonderful logic. At that time, Sri Krishna is telling you are a fool. Why? Because you are grieving for people whom you should not grieve. Why? Because people will go and come back. You don't grieve for them. Ashocyananva shochastvam pragyavadanscha bhashase gatasun agatanshunscha na anushocanti pandita. And you call yourself a very great intellectual person, and you are grieving for people for whom you should not grieve. Should not be sorrow. So suppose somebody is grieving, oh, my husband has gone to the office. Or he has gone to the office, he will come back in the evening. But generally, this is a secret, open secret. Wives don't grieve, they are happy. At least this fellow went away. Some rest. You see, one person is laughing, so I have proof. So, grieving. You should not grieve. Similarly, this corn will decay, die, and again it will be produced. So, what is the fun in telling lie? So, don't tell lie. Keep the tradition. Honor your ancestors. Honor goodness. And tell the truth, or at least abide by the truth. So, now I have said, you have told that I will go to Yama, I will go to Yama. Now, saying this, Nachiketa, by what technology, still now nowhere it is written, he went to Yama. This certain things Kathopanishad is not telling, very intelligently avoiding. How did he go to Yama? That we don't know. But of course somebody made a film, Jamalaya Jivanto. There are many films. Recently in Tamil, you know Tamil? Nicely. Are you a Tamilian? No. Oh, apdiya. Okay. So this Vadivelu, he made a film some 3 years back where he goes and becomes the Yama. So this is a wonderful thing which creative people exploit. So, that is, I think, an older film, is it not? So, okay, I am aware of that also. So, now this, how did he go? Anyway, he went. You are all technology people, so please invent that. I also want to go.
Did he really die because of, say, maybe curse? Like his other even said in annoyance, but
some people say that yes, how did you go to Yama? So he would have died and gone to Yama. But then after dying, he remembered that I have to ask these questions. That is still wonderful. How can he remember?
Memories don't get erased. No. After dying, still perseverance.
No, mind remains, not memories. Memories, this is not what you call, this is not hard disk memory, this is RAM. This gets wiped off. So I don't know how he remembered. These are all.
Next one of the verse he said that when I go back, my father should be able to identify.
That is because because he should not be booth too. That is why he said that. Because father should not say once a person dies, then we are all happy. If he comes back again, no, everyone, this is the ridiculous thing, you see, everyone will be crying, oh, you have gone, you have gone. But if the person gets up and sits, nobody will be there. Everyone will be bhago bhutaya. So that is why this person says that let my father recognize him and let him not be afraid of me, because otherwise he will think I am bhoot too. So then this person, Nachiketa, he went to Yama. কি হলোটা কি? এটা কিছু আমার মনে হয় প্রজেক্টের নড়াচড়া হয়েছে তো হতে পারে ঠিক আছে So he went to Yama and he was staying. Oh acha, some slides were there. Never deviate from truth. So you say, all of you, I know you have the same answer. Swamiji, this is very simple for him because we have never practiced truthfulness. So Only if we practice, we have the question of deviating. So we are in our correct path of not practicing truthfulness. Religiously we follow this. So that is why you don't have problem with this. But I suggest at least for one day you can follow. There was a movie by Jim Carrey. What was that movie? I forgot. Where he used to tell lies so much that his son, in the birthday party, he did not go there, and he was doing some nasty thing, and he told his wife that I am very busy. So his son, they say that when you blow off the candle, you wish, and he wished that at least my father should speak truth for at least one day. And that is the whole humor there. So what happens if you speak truth? So similarly, at least for one day, please try speaking truth. And try to speak truth doing all your regular activities, because what you will do is you will take a Sunday, have Mauna Vrata and say I have spoken truth that day.
I have not spoken any I have not spoken at all if I take Mauna.
Now that's what means. Please don't try such techniques. That's what I am telling. You try to speak truth. This is one thing. Then follow the tradition of wise people like your ancestors. This is what. Now for that again, your ancestors should be worth following. So you also should be in such a way that your successors will be emulating you. Then what is told, there is no gain from lying, and death is certain both for the truthful and the liar. Again, for those who know Tamil, there are only one person or two people. So there is one poem by one Siddha called Kapilar Agaval. Have you read it? No. So in that he says that death will come to a person. So not like the police. If you're police, you say, hey, do you know, I know the chief minister. Immediately police will go away. But not like that. Death will come. And if he says, see, please leave me, I am such a nice person, it will not go. It will come at the appointed hour. And if you say, don't you know who am I will kill you. So even then death will not go. Death will come at the appointed hour. If you try to cajole death or try to give some, we are so much trained in corruption that we will also try to give, okay, how much? 5,000 rupees. So even for that death will not. Death will, when it comes at the appointed hour, it will come. So that is the thing. It is an inevitable truth of life. As Yudhishthira told, and this is the greatest wonder, that it comes, but still we think that it will never come for us, it will come only for my relatives, particularly for my spouse. So, this is what is told here. You should be careful.
Swamiji, usually nobody tells lies voluntarily. Only when they find that telling truth will create certain problems, then only they speak. They are forced to speak lies.
So it is very easy to find an excuse.
Pondering over that regular excuse. I mean, I'm just saying, you are continuing after that, but I think so. Paul was pondering over that issue, that I will speak the truth at this point in day.
No, it is good. You should ponder. No, you see, there are always problems in life. For example, Udara Nimittam Bahukrita Vesham. Shankaracharya says, you please tell me what problems we face to earn a livelihood. Do we not face? But citing these problems, do we quit the struggle? We don't. Because it is an existential crisis. People go to so much, they go out of the way to earn 2 square meals a day, so to say. But we don't say that because it is problematic I am living. But why in the case of morality, in the case of practicing ethics, we say that? Because there are alternatives, or at least we think there are alternatives. That is the thing. We do more difficult things in our life. Much more difficult. So this person, any of you can tell me about this person? His name is P. Kalyana Sundaram. I came to know about him only a few days back. But can you tell, why I am showing his photograph is not that because he is looking beautiful, he does not. Why I am showing you this photograph is, he is one of the persons whom you can emulate. A person who will be the successor of this person will have an ancestor whom can be emulated. What did he do? So this person was working in an ordinary government job for 40 years, and he took the salary but never spent it on himself. He had some land and some properties, some very less property. Out of that, whatever interest came, he spent that interest on his livelihood. For 40 years, every month salary he donated for the cause of other people. And as usual, Mera Marat Mahan, we never even knew about this person. But United States of America, even Swami Vivekananda was recognized by them only, not us. So United States of America, they gave him an award of 30 years experience. He worked as a server in a hotel. Some facts were wrong. He worked as a server in a hotel to take care of his needs. And 30 years experience, he worked as a librarian in a government library. And 30 years of experience, he never took the salary. And he was awarded the Man of the Millennium Award by the American government. He was given 30 crores as that award, and he immediately distributed that money also to the poor. And Rajnikant, who can do everything, you know this joke, no? Rajnikant can do everything. So Rajnikant adopted him as his father, and he runs a NGO called Palam. Palam in Tamil means bridge. So he runs an NGO called Palam. So this is one example of people who can be emulated. I don't say that all of us can follow his example in toto, but at least we can try in our own way. Acha. Now what happens about our ancestry is this. Swamiji says, the child is taken to the school and the first thing he learns is that his father is a fool. The second thing, that his grandfather is a lunatic. The third thing, that all his teachers are hypocrites. The fourth, that all the sacred books are lies. And once he is established in this learning, he becomes an intelligent person, intellectual. Buddhijeevi. This is what is the lack of Shraddha. And Swamiji says, whatever these people in West have acquired today, all this material development is because of the Shraddha they have. We don't have Shraddha. Suppose some of you say that I will become a scientist, I will find this. তুমি পারবে? ঠিক আছে, করো। Means beginning itself you will think, wow, I cannot. Yes. So this is the idea. Then after adopting the means, whatever technology, Nachiketa goes to Yama and he stays there. Now when he reaches there, Yama is not there, out of town. All great people are either out of town or in meeting or in the bathroom, nowadays in puja. This man would never have prayed, but whenever you call, he is in puja or he is in bathroom. Ya saab abhi meeting mein hai, ya out of station. These are the four things very characteristic of a VIP. So Yama is also a VIP, so he was out of town. Then Vaishwanaraha pravishati atiti brahmano grihan tasya etam shantim kurvanti hara vaivasvata udakam. Now Brahmana means one Brahmin, Atiti. Now Nachiketa is a Brahmin. Atiti, guest, son, that you have to add. Vaishwanara iva. A Brahmin guest in the house is like fire. Why? This parable or tale Swami Vivekananda relates in his Karma Yoga lecture. One of the lectures in Karma Yoga. A a sage went to a house and he was asked to wait. The woman said, wait, and he waited there. And he was waiting for a long time and he thought, what? I have to wait for such a long time. And before coming there, in the jungle he was meditating and some cranes had, defecated or something and tried to disturb his meditation, or they did not try, they disturbed his meditation. So immediately he looked upon the cranes and they were bhasma. They were reduced to ashes. So he thought, she does not know my power, and this woman, she is making me wait. So after that woman came and she asked him, did you think that I am also like the cranes? For the benefit of the Tamil speaking person, Kokkandrananitaya Konganava. Did you think that I am a crane? Is it not? Do you know this incident? Tamil, oh, there also failed. So much Tamil she does not know. So, did you think that this is there also in Mahabharata, this incident, this tale. Did you think that I am that crane? So he thought, Arey Baba, how did she know? So similarly, Brahmana, guest, is considered a fire. Now also we treat a guest as fire, but for a different reason altogether. Now then because if there is some truti or some mistake in serving the guest, then what will happen? You will incur sin, or the person will curse you. So much of problem. I have told you this earlier. When Madhavanandaji was the president of Ramakrishna Math, a couple, devotee, they went to a Swami, and the Swami, something they told some ulta palta, and the Swami got angry and he started scolding them, and they got really afraid. They went to Madhavanji and said, Maharaj, Amra, means we told something and this Swamiji got annoyed. So we are afraid now if something comes, some ill befalls ourselves, what will happen? So Madhavanji told, don't worry. Ramakrishna Mission Swamis, their blessings also don't work, curses also don't work. So don't worry. So griham pravishanti, like fire, embodiment of fire. This person comes to your house. Griham pravishanti. Grihan means houses in the plural. Grihan. There are three numbers for all of you who do not know. In Sanskrit there are three numbers: singular, dual and plural. Dvivachana, Bahuvachana is plural, and Ekavachana. In some European languages like German or French also this is there. So Grihan, Pravishanti, Pravishati. So he enters into those houses as their guest. And now if he enters those houses as guest, as fire, how do you put off fire? By not electrical fire, ordinary fire, by putting water. So electrical fire, you need this ceasefire or something like that. So, but by throwing water. So he says that you give them water, Ruh Hafsa, Sharbat and everything. Nowadays nobody hears about Ruh Hafsa. But Rasna, all these things have gone. Now only Pepsi, Coke. So anyway, you make them happy with pizza, KFC, whatever you want. But Udakam, figuratively it has been told that you quench the thirst of the person by giving Udakam. Udakam means water. Vaivaswata. Vaivaswata, the son of Vivaswan. Now we know Vajasrava, Vivaswan, son of Vivaswan, this is told to Yama. Yama is the son of Vivaswan. So son, Vivaswan is Surya Bhagavan. So Vaivaswata, oh Yama, you quench. Who is telling this? Now, in every house there is a home ministry, you are all aware of. There are two ministries. One is Ministry of External Affairs, another one is Home Ministry. So this Home Ministry people are telling to Yama, who went to his External Affairs Ministry and came back, that you see, when you were not there, this fellow is coming here and sitting here 3 days. And because you were not there, we did not also attend. Means homemakers and other people, relatives, wives, I don't know, it is written wives, so Yama probably had many wives. So, wives and all that, so you please take care of him because he appears to be a Brahmin and a Brahmin guest is like a fire, and you please immediately go and attend to him. Immediately attend to him. So now who is a fire? Any VIP is a fire with that red light in the vehicle. You go to any place and if a red light vehicle person comes, immediately everybody will stop the work and attend to them. Otherwise their job will be on fire. So this is something like that, Brahmin guest. So you please attend to that person, please attend to that person. Kurvanti, Shantim Kurvanti, and you pacify him, make him Shanta, so that we don't get any problem. And Hara, Vaivaswata Udakam Hara. Hara means bring water. Bring water and give it to him. So you see, there is another thing which is implied here, that it was only the Yajamana of a house who used to attend to the guests, and that was only considered proper. Now these homemakers who are giving advice now to Yama could have themselves attended to Nachiketa. Why did not they do? That is not considered proper. That is not considered honorable, respectful. So it is Yama who has to attend to the guest. So that is why they did. So in the Taittiriya Upanishad we find Matri Devo Bhava, Pitri Devo Bhava, Atiti Devo Bhava.
There are some lazy persons who don't want to do any kind of work.
Like you.
It is not but if he finds such a host, then he won't move from there from here for years.
You are so much of afraid of a guest that you don't even want to think of attending to the guest.
There is some kind of people like parasites. Like parasites, yes, but just being parasites. They don't do anything.
You see,
One person earns and he
the idea of doing good cannot be quashed away just because some people will, very few people will take advantage of your goodness. See, there will always be people who will take advantage of your goodness. For that, a few people cannot suffer, the many people, all of the people cannot suffer for the cause of the few. This is a judicial maxim also, legal maxim. You cannot put most of the people at peril for the benefit of few people. So that is why even when you have this counter-terrorist operation, when you cannot rescue the lives of few people who have been taken hostage by the terrorists, okay, let them die, but all other people will be safe. Got the point? So if you want to be good, be good. Few people will come who will take advantage of that. Vishwanath Datta, Swami Vivekananda's father, also was facing the same problem. Some people used to come and just put tent in his house, and not literally, but they used to simply take his house as the permanent residence. But okay, what is there? But how many people were benefited by that? That is how you should always don't try to find fault in good things. Good things if you do, some people will be there, very minuscule percentage who will try to take advantage of you. But Atiti Devo Bhava. Why Atiti? There are various interpretations. Atiti, some people say that, or some teachers say that the true guest is a guest who comes without announcement. Otherwise he is not a guest. A guest, I thought about that, and if you go to any website, you see, without registering, if you enter the website, it can be a chat site or anything. They say welcome guest 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. Is it not? But if you register, they say welcome Somnath or something. So they give that name. So that means you are no more a guest. This is one interpretation. Another interpretation is, in those days it seems they did not have calendar, they did not have clock, so they could not also send emails and so many practical problems. So they did not in advance inform that I am coming because of communication hassles. So Atiti was always Atiti. Without telling, they used to come. Huh?
Without a date.
A plus Titi. A in the sense of negative, without a date. Atiti.
must be known beforehand or maybe unknown.
Huh?
Must he be a known person or
No, here it's the question is only about the date, not about the person itself.
no,
Depends on the host. Like if an unknown person comes, I will probably do the bomb scanning and let him or her be my guest. But probably if he goes to you, you will not even entertain that person. No, depends on the host. These are all secondary things. The point is Atiti Devo Bhava. If the scripture says so, it is correct. So you have to have hospitality. Why you should have hospitality? Swami Vivekananda says that I belong to a country where even now if you go to a village, an unknown person, a stranger will not go without food. Even today, I can stand for that. I have been fed by many people who did not know me. I was just without any money. Even Ramakrishna Mission monks also take that avatara sometimes. So without money I was wandering and people fed me. I never was in want of food. In cities also, not even in villages. So it is still happening in India. But outside if you go, he is a stranger, don't even talk to him. That person will not even ask for food. Even for talking they will not talk to you. But in Indian railways, in 5 minutes, as soon as the train leaves Howrah station, you have become fast friends with the person sitting opposite to you. You share food, you do everything. Then nowadays mobile phones are exchanged and all that. Numbers are exchanged and all that. So this is the culture. This is our culture. Atithi. We talk person to person. We believe in this. This is our culture. But that culture has been invaded by a alien culture, and now we don't say Atiti Deva Bhava. What do we say? We say Atiti tum kab jaoge. This is what we say. We just want to drive this fellow away, and these people are very much worried. How many of you have seen this movie? Wow.
Producer is foreign, US partner with us.
You see, they want this, that you should not have atithis. But,
There are some certain laws for the host. Do you think there must be some laws for the host?
but let us not bother about that. You see, why?
Laws for the Atithi also.
No. Let us not bother about that. Why we should be bothering? And first of all, why should I be hospitable to a Atithi? One reason is the scripture says so, but if you do not believe in the scripture. The other reason is that when I am in trouble, when I end up without any credentials in a city, I also want that somebody should be hospitable to me. For that reason alone, we should be hospitable to people. And you see, there are so many criminals, they don't follow law. Okay, so why should I follow law? Your question is like that. Because the Atithi is not having decorum, why should I have decorum? He is not having decorum, so why should you go down to his level? You be what you are. And why we do that? So that when I am in trouble, other person should also help me. If I go abroad or to some other city, unknown city where I don't have anybody known to me, no acquaintance, so let people come and help me. Like the lady who helped Swami Vivekananda. She just opened the door and saw this monk and helped. Even in a city where it was considered not proper to help or talk to strangers, even then. But she helped him. There are many people who helped him. Not only him, even afterwards, even before him, many people were helped. So that for that reason we need to have this idea of Atiti Devo Bhava. So once that has happened, once that has been told to Yama immediately got afraid. You see, Nachiketa is such a powerful person. Everybody is afraid of Yama, and this fellow made Yama himself afraid. Yama himself got afraid. Are Baba, what will happen to me? So he ran to this Nachiketa. Poor fellow, small fellow sitting, and he ran. Now small is not always weak. What is the example? Best example? You are all thinking so wonderful, so bombastically thinking. Mosquito. No, don't go so much. So simple. Mosquito, dengue, and all this. You see, if you have water, clean water also, dengue will come. If wrong water, malaria will come. Mosquito. For all the animals, we have cages, but for mosquito, we are in cage. Dangerous thing. See, and it also sings also. So all people who sing also are dangerous. And all kinds of this all out. I've told about that. We thought that all out could really do mosquito all out. I saw once the ashrama, Advaita ashrama is an entirely which is considered to be falciparum malaria endemic zone. So it's a very dangerous kind of malaria. In 3 days, if it is not detected, you will die. It straight away goes to your brain. For people who have that. So falciparum malaria. Now, one mosquito we saw in our manager Maharaj's office, is, all out was kept. And one mosquito, 2-3 mosquitoes were dancing on that. So this is what is, there are more than 40 strains of malaria. People don't know what kind of so mosquito, you see. So this poor small boy, Nachiketa, he created so much fear in the mind of Yama. He came running and he says, he wants to, then again he just goes to Yama, and again all these homemakers, they are guiding Nachiketa. They say, Asha pratikshe, sangatam sunritam, ishta purte, putra pashunscha sarvan, etad vrinte, purushasya alpamedaso, yasyan anashnan vasati brahmano grihe. Anashnan vasati. Yasya anashnan vasati grihe means Brahmana anashnan alpasya grihe vasati tasya alpamedasah purushasya asha pratikshe sangatam sunritam ishtapurte putra pashun sarvan etan vrinte. Vrinte means is destroyed. So in a person's house, if a Brahmin, let us take not the caste but the conduct of the person. So a person who abides by the scriptures, has a righteous conduct, if such a person is anashnan, without food, if the person is staying in a house, grihe vasati, in a house, the person in whose house this Brahman stays like that without food, that person is alpa medasaha. He is a foolish person, alpa, little medasaha, brain he has got. And of that person, asha pratikshe. Asha is the desire which we have. And pratiksha is the expectation. First you have the desire and you have the expectation. So, first you think that somebody will love you, and second you have the expectation that that person should also be beautiful. So this kind of asha pratiksha. Then when this somebody says that, okay, I will give you 10 rupees, then immediately you start expecting that that person will actually give you 10 rupees. He was making fun of you. Asha pratiksha. Asha pratiksha. So desire and the expectation born out of that desire. Sangatam, and sangha, something which is produced out of sangha. Sangha means not association with bad people, but satsanga. When you mix with good people, something which is produced out of that, this, the merit obtained, satsangatve nissangatvam, etc. So the merit obtained by holy company, that, and also Sunritam. The Su means the good result obtained by speaking truth, that, and Ishta Purte. Ishta, Ishtam Purtam. The merit obtained by performing Ishta means Vedic sacrifices, and Purtam means charitable work like digging of well, building a hospital, or building a school. Nowadays they are done for commercial reasons, but if it is done for charitable reasons, all this Ishta Purte, all these things will have no effect. All the merits, whatever you have gained by performing Vedic rituals, by giving charity or doing charitable works, by having holy company, by speaking truth and having a righteous conduct, all these things will be destroyed if you keep a Brahmin in your house without feeding that person. Sarvan, also Putra Pashun. You see, in the Vedic civilization, Pashu was very important. Even today, agriculture is very important. That is why US concentrates on agriculture, we don't. So agriculture is very important to any economy. So Pashu, cattle is integral to agriculture. So Putra, progeny, who will take on keep your ancestry remaining. That is the big problem people have with monks. They immediately ask, what will happen to your Vansha? Even I am not bothered, they are so much bothered. Your Vansha will come to a standstill. So Putra, Pashun, Putran, Pashun, all these things will be destroyed, Vrinte, if you keep a Brahmin, unfed, if you don't feed that Brahmin in your house.
Ramakrishna advised his disciples that if you go to some householder's home, if they don't feed you, you ask for some food. Otherwise, the guests offer that way.
Yes.
No, it is in the same context.
Yeah. Should I ask you? Food? Because you have not invited me, so should I ask you? I'm asking you a question anyway. So, this is what. Now, there was a custom during Vedic time that when a single female child was given in marriage, the female child could not perform this Shraddha ceremony, Pindadana. So there was a custom that when a single child is given in marriage, that person's single female child, the children born of that woman will be eligible to give Pindadana for her father also. Did you get the point? So suppose some woman, say Sita, has no sibling, no brother or nobody else. So she is given in marriage. Then if Sita has a son called Sanjay, now Sanjay will be able to give Pinda of Sita's father. This Pinda is very important because you see these ancestors, they don't get food. There is so much problem for food. Why will somebody give food? So this Pinda Dana is necessary. You have to give food, you have to give offerings to the ancestors till they are released from Pitraloka, the world of the mains. Till they are released from there, you have to give them food or you have to give them offerings. Otherwise they will come as booth. So in Gaya, it is said, there are so many incidents also, there are so many booths and pishachas moving here and there. And when somebody goes and gives this Pindadana, many times the hands come, people come and receive that. So Pinda should be given. That is why Putra is very important, because according to Vedic rituals or the interpreted Vedic rituals, only sons can give Pindadana. So he says, he is being told by his wives and other relatives that if you don't feed this Nachiketa, this problem, he will create serious problem. All your good deeds will go away in one stroke. Whatever you have earned by Vedic sacrifice, by telling the truth, righteous conduct, by doing charitable work, everything will go away. So please go and feed him. Immediately, Yama runs to Nachiketa. What does he say? He says, Tisro Ratri Yad Avasit Grihe Me Anashnan Brahman Na Atitir Namasya Namastestu Brahman Swasti Me Astu Tasmat Pratitrin Varan Vrinishva. We know that if gods are pleased, they give boons. But here he was afraid, so he gave boon. 3 boon immediately he said.
Yama is a Brahmagyan.
Yes.
Why is he so concerned about fruits of his action and what will happen? Why is he bothered? About what? Implications of what Nachiketa, about this whole thing. At least from the text it appears that he is bothered. Right?
No, he is definitely bothered. So there can be various interpretations. One interpretation is, which is very easy, is that the scripture is trying to bring this discourse, and in that process it is trying to create a context. That is one interpretation. The other interpretation is all these gods, this interpretation finds support in other places of the scriptures also. All these gods, like we have this prarabdha karma. So if a person has prarabdha karma, this again is a debate whether a jnani has prarabdha karma or not. Some people say he has got, and till his prarabdha karma is exhausted, he will have to live even after Brahmajnana. So this prarabdha karma will cause that person to behave, and it will appear as though that person has some desires. So Yama also has prarabdha karma. That is why he is in this embodied state of Yama. Yama is also a Sharira. He is not merged, or he has not attained the complete merger with Brahman. He may be a Brahmajnani, but it is a post. Like we say Hiranyagarbha, Brahma, they are all posts. So this person has got this post. He is part of what we will say Krama Mukti. He becomes Yama, then he will go further, and finally he will dissolve. So this may be an effect of Prarabdha Karma. That is one way we can look at it. Another way is scripture is trying to create a context. So now he says that you see Tisro Brahman, oh Brahmana, Atiti, you are a guest, and Tvam, you are a guest, Namasya, and Yat me grihe tisra ratri anashnan avadsi, and you have been staying, avadsi have been staying in my house, you have stayed in my house, anashnan, without eating, tisraha ratri, for 3 nights, tisraha ratri, and tasmat prati Treen Varan, because you have stayed here for 3 nights without eating, so for every 1 day I give you 1 boon. Please ask something of me. Treen, 3 is a word for 3 in Sanskrit. So just imagine where from 3 came. Mother came from Sanskrit, father came from Sanskrit, 3 came from Sanskrit. So like that. So Treen Varan Vrinishva, you ask of me 3 boons. O Brahmana, te nama astu, me swasti astu. Let welfare be to me. Please don't curse me, that is the idea. Please don't curse me, I am giving you anticipatory bail. I am giving you boons in advance. I know you will curse me, so I am taking anticipatory bail. So please take these boons and please do not curse me. Some mistake has happened. You have not been fed for 3 days. So,
How do they measure day and
do you have satellite phone? Do you have satellite phone? You don't have. IIT, it should be there. We will call Yama and find out.
We measure day here by rotation of Earth.
No, in Purana, some Purana, I forgot where, it is written what is one day for Brahma, what is one day for Yama, etc. So it is not exactly our 24 hours, or now it is not 24 hours, it is 23 hours, so many minutes and some seconds. Because of that earthquake in, where was that? Haiti. Some big earthquake. Huh? Indonesia, na? No. Before Indonesia, there was an earthquake that reduced the day from 24 hours to some reduced. Huh? No. Haiti or Hawaii somewhere, I forgot. Haiti, na? So that was a massive earthquake in which lakhs of people died, and that reduced the day span. It is not now technically 24 hours. So whatever that. So there the calculation is different. So if you go to, please think before going to Yama, because having read this you would have been inspired and you will all go to Yama. When you come back you will see that we are already in 2045 or something like that. You would have spent only few hours there. So don't do that. So now he goes to Nachiketa and says that you please ask something, 3 things of me. Now presence of mind, how many you have that? Nobody has. She is like very sorrow state. So presence of mind nobody has, I don't think so. You are all very humble to accept that. But presence of mind is very important. So here Nachiketa has got presence of mind. Shanta sankalpaha sumana yatha syat vita manyuhu gautamaha ma abhimrityo tvat prasishtam ma abhivadet pratita etat trayanam prathamam varam vrine. So presence of mind, first thing he thinks is, I have come to Yama, that means practically I have died. So now I have to go back because I don't want to be in Yamaloka. And my work in earth is also has not finished. You see, this is again another thing. Nachiketa, as we will see, later will ask about Brahman, not Brahma, Brahman. What happens after death? That is the question he is going to ask. After having the knowledge of Brahman, why does he want to go back to earth? Why does he want to go back to earth? Because he needs to actually realize that knowledge. He needs to realize this knowledge, and he also needs to exhaust his prarabdha karma. Whatever actions he has done, the fruits he has to exhaust. There is no miracle. That is what this scripture means. There is no miracle. Just like that somebody comes and bingo, nothing will happen. You have to exhaust. So what Holy Mother says is, by the grace of God, if your head was going to be cut off, there may be a small injury on your forehead. That much will happen. It will be reduced, the intensity will be reduced, but you will have to exhaust all the results of the actions. So that is one reason, that could be one reason why Nachiketa is coming. And second reason is, he has got the wisdom, but he has to realize it. Brahmanandaji did lot of tapasya, austerities, after the passing away of Sri Ramakrishna. He and Swami Turiyananda, they went to a place called Kusum Sarovar in Vrindavan, and for 1 or 1.5 years they did severe tapasya. They took food like once in a day, and so a devotee went to them and said, you are the spiritual son of Sri Ramakrishna. You got everything from him, and why are you doing so much of austerity? Why are you going through so many hardships? And Swami Brahmanji said, yes, I have got the wisdom, but I have to make it my own. I have to make it, I have to earn that, I have to make it my own. So that could also be one reason why Nachiketa wants to go. So since he wants to go back to earth, first question is, what the father will think. I went to Yama and again coming back, so bhoot, bhago. He should not be frightened, first of all. And he should accept me as his son again. He should not say that you are somebody else, but you have done cosmetic surgery and come back as my son because I have got a lot of wealth. That also should not happen. He should not think that I have done some magic, some Mayavi, and I am coming as son. So he should accept me as his son. That is the first boon Nachiketa asks. See, first, what do you do when you install a computer? First thing, after installing the operating system, what do you do? Any one of you, or all of you are technical experts. First thing, what do you do? Antivirus. First thing you do is install the antivirus, because you will have to go to internet for practically everything. So first thing you do after installing Windows 8 or Windows 7 or whatever, you install antivirus. So first he went to the